grudge match!
The competition in the food world is brutal, with bitter rivalries everywhere.
She's a huge trash talker.
From disputes that begin in restaurant kitchens,
The burns from the throwing pans, the cuts from the throwing knives.
to culinary superstars who have resentments that go back years.
I heard what you said.
I believe he called me a pig-headed punk.
Now, Super Chef Darnell Ferguson invites two chefs with a real-life grudge to the ultimate arena for head-to-head, winner-take-all culinary battles.
I'm so ready for this.
And because it's personal, the winning chef will take the losing chef's most prized knife.
10 grand would not replace that.
It's all fun and games till someone loses a knife.
Tonight,
You're going
we've got two all-star grudge matches featuring world-famous chefs. First, Antonia Lofaso calls out Chef Jet Tila to avenge a heartbreaking loss.
In Tournament of Champions, he beat me by a point. I just can't let it go.
And then, rising star chef Carlos Anthony is determined to defeat his mentor, Chef Brian Malarkey.
Focus over there, Pops.
Pops! Pops!
This is Super Chef Grudge Match.
Ladies and gentlemen, with 20 years of culinary experience under his belt, a fierce competitor, restaurateur, and culinary champion, your host, the one and only, Chef Darnell Ferguson.
What's going on, food fans? You're in luck tonight. For our first battle, Chef Antonia Lofaso and Chef Jet Tila. These two have known each other for years. And according to Chef Antonia, she's never lost a battle to Chef Jet until they faced off on the food world's biggest stage.
In season 2, we had a strong moment in Tournament of Champions where we tied.
We have a dead, even tie.
So we had to go again. And in that last competition, he beat me by a point.
The winner, Jet Tila! Jet Tila!
It was rough, I'm not gonna lie. I had a hard time taking that one on the chin. There were a lot of tears. I hit the replay button over and over and over again.
Chef Jet Tila!
It just means she's even that much more motivated to destroy me. And I'm gonna go out there and defend myself. I don't want to lose this one.
Tonight, Chef Antonia intends to regain her winning dominance over Chef Jet. Are you ready to meet our chefs? First up, the challenger. She owns a SoCal restaurant empire, including the Michelin-recommended Dama. And she's known for being a culinary assassin.
I love competing. I don't scare easily, and I don't like to lose.
Put your hands together for Chef Antonia Lofaso.
It's heartbreaking. I have never lost a Jet until that day.
I was there that day when it happened. I remember you walking off.
Crying.
Oh, you
sobbing.
were mad.
When I lose, I get really emotional. And then I think about it for years later, and then there's like therapy, and there's a whole other thing that happens.
Well, let's meet the chef you were calling out. He is a master of Asian fusion who has opened critically acclaimed restaurants from Las Vegas to Los Angeles and has set over 5 world records.
Antonia's underestimated me in the past many a time, but I found my stride and I have to maintain my position in the animal kingdom.
Make some noise for Chef Jet Tila! What's up? I have questions, okay? Is it true, until that day on TLC, you never beat Antonia?
Ever. She's been beating me for so long that I think she got used to it.
But not anymore. I'm gonna keep winning.
So this is a 1-round culinary grudge match. The winner will receive, first and foremost, vindication. And the winner will also get $10,000 in their pockets. How's that sound? And since this battle was personal, I've asked both chefs to put their most prized possession on the line, their favorite chef knife. Chef Antonia, what knife are you putting on the line?
So this was a very special knife given to me by a good friend of mine who had traveled to Japan. One thing to know about chefs, our knives mean something to us. There's a story in our knife. We travel with them, you know, we have these experiences with them. And so it's a very special knife to me. I actually love it. And I can't believe I'm getting emotional about my knife. That's so weird.
Chef Jet.
I built this with the master knife maker for TOC1. I was there when it was fitted. It is a fast blade. It is surgically precise. It's the most special knife in my entire arsenal, and 10 grand would not replace that.
Wow. All right then, chefs, to your stations.
When he beat me, it was really heartbreaking. If I lose today, we're gonna do it all over again.
She clearly has not gotten over it, and I'm gonna have to beat her again.
Now, chefs, I've asked each of you to bring a secret weapon. That's an ingredient in your culinary arsenal that you have mastered that you think may trip up your opponent. Chef Antonia. Oh, rack of lamb.
Okay.
You do competitions all the time. You know rack of lamb is not the easiest thing to cook in a competition.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I do well. I am a strong technician when it comes to cooking meats on the bone.
Rack of lamb.
Chef Jet.
Weep.
Oh, loofah squash.
I'm hoping she hasn't had much
I
experience.
have not.
Chinese loofah squash. It has an armor exterior, so you have to have the knowledge to process it before you can even cook it.
Chef Jet, you are a master of the Asian cuisine. And Chef Antonia, your restaurant empire includes amazing Italian restaurants. So I want both of you to make a bomb noodle dish.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That incorporates both rack of lamb and loofah squash. But wait, there's more. Let's include a piece of mandatory equipment from your TLC battle.
Injector.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna give you, let's say...
45 minutes.
50 minutes.
30 minutes to prepare your dish.
An entire rack of lamb takes hours to cook. This is really tough.
Are you ready for a grudge match? Well, guess what? It's time to ring that bell.
I need my knife, all right?
Y'all get tonight.
Grab me my knife.
30 minutes, my secret ingredient is definitely a risk. The first thing I want to do is I want to get the lamb in the oven right away so that it has some time to rest.
Chef Antonia, it could be the last time that one of you two will ever work with these knives, so here you go.
Why are you gonna say it?
Oh, come on.
They knew what they were getting into, people. They knew it.
I need to pair the lamb with the noodle. I'm thinking a bang bang lamb noodle. It is a spicy Chinese noodle dish.
Word. All right, here we go.
My plan of attack. I'm gonna do a roasted rack of lamb and cavatelli as my noodle. It's a very large rack of lamb. I wanna be able to cook it all the way through. I season it heavily with salt and pepper, drop it in the fryer just to kind of give it a little crisp on the outside, put it into a hot cast iron.
Are you worried at all about cooking the lamb whole in 30 minutes?
I'm very worried about everything that's happening right now.
Chef Jet, what are you putting in that injector?
I've got sesame oil, fish sauce, and a little bit of chili oil in there, so.
Sticking to your Asian roots. That's smart, man. It's not the time to try to figure it out on the fly.
Inside of a blender, I put some fennel seeds, some olive oil, some basil leaves, and whole garlic, and I just let that puree.
I'm using the injector.
I finish it with just a little bit of butter and rosemary, pop it in the oven, and I just let it go. I just feel like, am I gonna have enough time?
Why? Why lamb?
I didn't know it was 30 minutes.
It's gonna be 30 minutes just to process lamb.
I basically sabotaged both of us with the lamb, and still, I'm here today to win.
Good job, Antonia.
So with a battle this big, we had to bring in the big guns to judge it. We have renowned executive chef, Shirley Chung. We have award-winning food writer and owner of San Diego Magazine, my buddy, Troy Johnson. So Chef Antonia has challenged Chef Jet to a rematch. They both have to use loofah squash, rack of lamb, an injector, and they have 30 minutes to make a noodle dish.
Whew.
Antonia has never seen loofah squash before.
I mean, that's a tricky one.
But Antonia has a point to make, right? She's got a point to make up from the last time she lost to Jet. I guarantee she painted a mural of Jet on her wall and has been looking at it for a year. Like, that's how personal she took that loss.
God, look at this fat cap. All right, I'm gonna render some of this fat.
If I'm gonna beat Antonia, every component has to be perfect.
I believe both sides right now are rendering down the fat.
Are you rendering fat too? Boo. Stop copying me, as my kids say.
I want to use the same sauce as the injector to marinate that lamb loin. Fish sauce, sesame oil, oyster sauce, and some sugar. It's supposed to be a spicy dish, so I grab chili crisp, but I got lamb fat all over my gloves.
Darnell, open this. My hands are fatty. See, it's not me. It is me.
All that working out I do, Jet.
Bro, you're swole right now.
For my noodles, I choose pappardelle. It's very similar to northern Chinese wheat noodles.
Jet has opened up over 20 restaurants. I mean, this man knows how to get a dish done and to get it fast.
When you go up against a formidable opponent like Jet, I need a perfect dish. The initial plan is that I'm going to really base the noodle dish around this entire rack of lamb. I'm gonna make a sauce using lamb bones with a little bit of demi and chicken stock, the lamb bones, garlic, celery, carrots.
Every time Antonia cooks, she can always achieve layers and layers of both flavors.
Layers.
I add white wine, rosemary, reduce it down so I have a beautiful sauce for my noodle. So now I'm getting into the loofah squash, but I don't really know much about it at all.
So loofah squash is part of the gourd family. Same thing as cucumbers, melons. And if you use it wrong, it can shrink down to something that's hardly identifiable.
Ooh, it's a little bitter.
So the loofah squash actually has this very beautiful sort of spongy texture, very much like eggplant.
Chef Antonia, what are you thinking over here?
I got this thing in my head of making a caponata.
Oh, really? Tapenade with loofah? Oh, yeah.
Caponata!
That sound whack, bro.
Oh, it has started, people!
I start working on my caponata. So I take my Japanese eggplant, slice it down, season it, drop it in the fryer just to get it started.
I love it. I love your direction. You use loofah squash in place of eggplant. Texture.
Oh my God, I knew
so
it.
Perfect.
I knew it!
Stop giving Antonia all the secrets.
Eggplant and celery and onions along with the loofah squash. It actually just all goes together. And again, lamb is a very forgiving protein. It wants to take on flavor.
All right, chefs, we're under 10 minutes.
You know, Antonia's underestimated me in the past many a time. Not today, Antonia.
You can see Chef Jet's knife skills with that beautiful knife that I know that he's hoping he doesn't lose today.
I have to be tight. I have to execute perfectly. There's a long history in Asian culture of having to give up your sword. It symbolizes completely losing everything, and I don't want to do that today. While my lamb is in the deep fryer, I'm gonna work on this loofah squash.
He's a master of Asian cuisine. This is right up his alley.
Loofah squash is going to be flash fried and then thrown into the stir fry pan.
Jet!
What up, Darnell?
Man, what's going on? We got some good stuff.
I marinated my lamb,
Okay.
fried it once, and now I'm coming in to actually put it all together.
Okay.
And then the secret to loofah squash is you
Secret as well.
fry it a little bit.
Okay.
And it sweetens it up.
Okay, gotcha. Heard.
Right?
Chefs, you have 5 minutes left. Only 5 minutes.
Time is getting away from me completely. I've got pasta boiling, I've got a sauce going, I've got lamb roasting.
We're gonna see.
Oh,
How hot was that coming?
I don't even know how this is possible to have had this lamb turn this color in the 10 minutes it was in the oven.
You do not see Antonia make mistakes very often. That may be one.
my God, if I lose again, I don't know. I'd prefer not to go through that process of heartbreak. Moment of truth, I'm gonna cut into this lamb, hoping that's not overcooked.
No, we're good.
Of course, Antonia. It looks like a mistake coming out of the oven. She opens it up, and it's perfect inside.
Exactly.
1 minute left, chefs.
It's a noodle dish, so it's gonna be plated like a noodle dish. I wanna make sure all the yummy bits are on top, so a good amount of lamb, loofah squash.
The pasta goes into the sauce, it reduces down. I'm finishing it with just a little bit of Parmesan Reggiano.
I'm going to do that hot oil over chives.
Hot.
Spoonful of the cavatelli at the bottom, piece of lamb, a little bit of the caponata over the top.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up, chefs. Great job. Great job.
I know that all the components on the dish are beautiful, but I mean, here's the thing. I just put up my best friend's knife that she brought me back from Japan. This is supposed to be redemption from Jet, and it just seems like I didn't have enough time.
I'm really confident about my dish. The noodles are cooked perfectly. I really like that lamb and spice. And I'm gonna prove to Antonia it wasn't luck, but it was skill.
Oh, that was hard.
All right, so judges, we have 40 points total, 20 for taste, 10 for use of ingredient, and 10 for presentation. Chef Antonia,
Yes.
tell the judges what you prepared.
So I did a whole roasted rack of lamb, seared it with some salt and pepper, injected it with fennel seed, garlic, basil leaf, and stem. I made a sauce with the bones, a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc, and that is what your cavatelli is cooked in. On top, the loofah squash resembled an eggplant to me. So I took Japanese eggplant and then that loofah squash sauteed into the caponata. There's a great bitterness to it that actually I think works really well. Enjoy.
I think she played is really smart.
Yeah, I mean, the sponge is hard to cook, you know, so for the first time seeing it in competition, I mean, hats off to you.
Loofah squash really absorbed all these amazing flavors and added a little bit of freshness.
And you can taste all that infusion that you have with the garlic and the fennel and everything else. Use it 5, 6 different ways. That's competition cooking right there.
Thank you.
But I think that the lamb got away from you a little bit because there is that bitterness in the loofah. When you charred it so hard, that cranked up the bitter in the dish a little bit too much, got it a little bit out of balance.
It's my fault. I always need to check my equipment.
Pushed it a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, but the sauce and flavors are beautiful around.
Thanks, guys.
Next up, Chef Jet.
In front of you is a fun interpretation of something like a bang bang noodle. I decided to slice the lamb, but I wanted to keep it really tender. So I took sesame oil, chili crisp, soy sauce, and fish sauce and injected it in and deep fried it. So I sealed all those flavors and the juice in together. And then I wanted to make the loofah squash a refreshing component. And I wanted you to feel like a rustic noodle. So pappardelle was the perfect noodle.
Thank you, Chef.
For such a short amount of time, you infuse this much flavor into this. Impressive, as always.
And it's oily. That fat may have been a tiny bit much for me, but it carries the flavor. Of course, you know how to use the loofah.
It's really doing its job right now to cut through all the richness for me. But my lamb is probably a little bit over fried.
Chefs, you can go back to your stations. I know you love both dishes.
I really feel like Antonia really did a great job on using injector.
I don't like to lose. I don't want to lose. I didn't come here to lose.
And versus Jet, he's very comfortable with his secret weapon, the loofahs.
Yeah.
Beating Antonia would keep that scorecard tilted just a little my way.
I'll give you a little time to tally up your scores.
Oh, man, I don't want to do this.
All right, chefs. The good news is, it wasn't a tie. But it is only a 1-point win.
Of course it is.
And the winner is Chef Antonia. Chef Jet, you made an amazing noodle dish, but it is time to hand that knife over to Chef Antonia.
I don't want to take your knife. I don't want to
Take care of it.
Taking Jet's knife, I'm like honored to have it. I love you so much. I know how much this means to you, and it's always my honor to stand here with you and do this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Chef Jet. Thank you, Chef.
Every loss hurts, and every loss is disappointing. You know, I know there'll be another day, and Antonia, I'm gonna get you next time.
Let's hear it for our grudge match champion, everybody! Antonia Lofaso! Are you guys ready for your next grudge match? A clash between a talented protege and his superstar mentor.
This grudge, it means so much to me, so much to my career, so much to my life. I've worked with Chef Brian Malarkey for 12 years now. I've been the guy behind him, and I've helped build this incredible empire. But I don't always get the praise or the admiration. Today is my day to step out of the shadow and to be the person that I believe I am. And that's a great chef.
He wants to put his big feathers up, and he wants everybody to know that Carlos has come into his own. So I have to put him in his place.
Let's meet our challenger. He has opened 10 restaurants alongside his mentor, Chef Brian Malarkey, and is currently executive chef of the crown jewel of that empire, an upscale hotspot. Eater San Diego named Restaurant of the Year.
Every competition I've ever been in, they've always brought up, oh, this is Brian Malarkey's boy. Today, we're gonna shatter that.
Put your hands together for Chef Carlos Anthony.
Make some noise! Let's go! Get it done! Woo!
What's going on, man?
I'm so ready for this.
Are you worried about biting the hand that feeds you?
You know, it's dangerous, but today I step away from that shadow, step in front of y'all, show why I'm here.
Let's meet your competition. He's one of the country's most successful chefs, having opened 15 restaurant concepts.
If he thinks he needs to take me down to make himself better, great. But today, you're gonna finish second, my friend.
Make some noise for Chef Brian Malarkey!
All right, little boy! Yeah! Carlos! He's been trying to call me out his whole life, and we finally get the opportunity to settle the score.
Okay, gentlemen, this is a one-round winner-take-all battle. The winner will take home $10,000. And the losing chef will hand over their most prized possession. Chef Carlos, what knife are you offering up today?
This is my personal blade, my Miyabi. Use this every day. This is a part of me, and it's gonna stay with me.
So this is the knife that you've helped to build his empire with.
Believe it.
Okay, Chef Malarkey.
My mom gave me this when I graduated from culinary school, and I broke it out of the mothballs just to make sure I beat you.
Chefs, to your stations!
I'm representing so much more than just me here. Nobody gets this opportunity to look their boss in the face and to say, hey, I'm better than you.
I've asked each of you to bring a secret weapon. That's an ingredient that you have mastered that you think will trip up your opponent. Chef Carlos, what is your secret weapon?
Well, today I wanted to bring something that might have given him a little trouble before. Ají amarillo is an incredible pepper from Peru. Here you have it in a paste form. Spicy, sweet, and goes with anything. But if you put too much of it,
You might get kicked off of Tournament of Champions just like I did. I lit Nancy Silverton up so much they had to bring water out to douse her out.
It's hard to enjoy it with the spiciness of what's below. Super spicy, I gotta say. And I like spice.
I never make the same mistake twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, Chef Malarkey, what did you bring?
Right here, we have a little tequila.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Not only is tequila fun to drink, but it is very hard to cook because you are as heavy-handed as I, my friend. Hey. Good luck, Carlos. Carlos Anthony's greatest weakness is Carlos Anthony.
Wow. Might have backfired.
Carlos, rookie mistake.
He knows me well.
If I win for one whole week, you have to wear an apron that says Brian Malarkey is better than me.
I love this.
When I win,
You have to wear an apron with my face on it and letting everyone know who won today.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That sounds good. Now, so you both have done many restaurant concepts, Mediterranean, an Asian steakhouse, and modern American, but you have yet to do American comfort. So you're going to need to make an American comfort dish that incorporates ají amarillo and tequila in, let's say, what, 30 minutes.
Woo! Let's go! You're going down!
Let's ring that bell! Both of these chefs brought ingredients that are not American comfort classics. Ají amarillo being Peruvian and tequila being Mexican. So I am excited to see how they use these in an American comfort classic.
Oh, ají amarillo.
I'm gonna make chili and cornbread because there's nothing more American comfort than chili. Ají amarillo could really add a heat and warmth to a chili, as well as the tequila could give it a layer of smokiness.
Did you take all the corn? You took corn? No, did I take the corn?
Fight!
I'm coming for Brian today. I know this guy backwards and forwards. I know what dish he's gonna make before he does.
Hey, Carlos, can I borrow your knife right now just to get used to it?
I know what ingredients he's gonna use. Probably too many.
Chef Brian, you have a lot going on.
This is my fancy steak and potatoes. Bone-in ribeyes, I'm grilling them. And then I'm gonna make a parsnip potato puree with American street corn, with a ají amarillo, this is gonna be crazy, hollandaise, and we're gonna make a brown butter mustard tequila gastrique.
Wow.
A little more, tell him something else.
What else can I say? It's such a mouthful.
Let's welcome back the experts who will be deciding this grudge match. Chef Shirley Chung and Troy Johnson.
I heard them competing
It's a lot going on.
100 miles
Yes,
out.
it's
Just
a
saying.
lot.
Let's go! Cooking chili in a 30-minute competition might be borderline crazy. I want big flavors in here. I need onions, I need garlic, hallmarks of a great chili. I grill off heirloom tomatoes and tomatillos so that I can give this chili a sense of body.
Normally, when we do think about a chili, it's something that slowly simmer.
Yep.
All the flavor need to melt and cook together.
I have a secret weapon. I grab great proteins like spicy Italian sausage, smoked bacon. I can cook these things down to add a lot of richness without too much time. An ají pepper, when done right, is the perfect chili pepper.
He does use a lot of really big and bold flavor, so let's just see if he can properly balance them.
This is also a great time for the tequila. Tequila can deglaze this pot and really bring all those flavors together.
A little more noise for the flame! Come on! Carlos has been wanting to beat me for a long time, but what separates us is age, sophistication, knowledge. I have forgotten more than Carlos Anthony has ever known. That's called flambe.
Brian is a competitor through and through. I mean, this guy has...
Although he put on this crazy show, but at the end, what he does well, he can always streamline and put up a really elegant focus plate.
You don't bring tomatillos to a knife fight, brah.
Don't you worry about me. Focus over there, Pops.
Pops! Pops! He called me Pops!
We have challenger Carlos Anthony challenging his mentor, Brian Malarkey.
It's like, wax it yourself, Mr. Miyagi.
Look at Malarkey's mess over
Of
here.
course. Without a mess, it's not a Malarkey competition.
Does he lose points for this mess he made, judges?
We have Chef Carlos cleaning up after Chef Brian Malarkey like he does every single day.
That's exactly what this battle is about. I mean, Carlos has been working his butt off while Brian is doing the things that bring attention to the restaurant, but the restaurant itself is being run by Carlos.
Carlos, if you need help, I'll be done soon. Yeah, my people! I am a steak and potato kind of guy, but I gotta make this elevated. So I'm gonna make mashed potatoes from parsnips. Throw them into some heavy cream and butter, and then I put it through the ricer. Boom. Parsnip puree.
All right, we got 15 minutes!
The gas streak, super simple, super hot pan. You burn the alcohol off of the tequila. I'm going to thicken it with a little bit of agave. Add some whole grain mustard to that, some nice herbs. I've got some chives, salt, lemon juice, lemon zest.
Whole grain mustard, tequila, and agave gas streak. You glazing the steak with it?
Yep, it's gonna go right on. It's gonna be like our secondary sauce.
That's really a classic place to put tequila.
I know I have to nail this cornbread. So I add things like fresh corn, buttermilk. The hardest part about cooking with tequila is overusing it and killing any kind of subtlety in a dish.
Is this the only place you're using tequila?
No, I have it in the chili, I have it in the cornbread.
And you're gonna cook the cornbread in the hot cast iron, right?
I sure am.
Man, that is the right way to make cornbread.
You know, Brian, he's trained me, he's taught me so many different skills, and today is my day to surpass him. I am going to make Brian Malarkey remember why he's kept me around for all these years.
All right, chefs, we're under 10 minutes.
I have no intentions of walking into my restaurant and hearing Carlos Anthony tell all the cooks and all the staff, yo, 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 I beat Malarkey. These little up-and-comers, we're gonna keep them down for a little bit longer, and today is not your day because I am here to win. Now that my parsnips are done, I need to make the hollandaise, 4 egg yolks, hot water in the blender. Zzz, and a huge dollop of the aji amarillo in there.
I would bet that Carlos is banking on Brian using too much aji.
Aji amarillo needs to be finessed. Put it in some fat, calm it down. The egg yolk is fat, and the butter is fat. I need to start cutting the corn and the Fresno chilies for the relish. I also grabbed some guanciale, which is kind of like a cured smoked pork jowl. I'm putting bacon in it.
So this is like your version of street corn?
Yes.
What makes this American comfort to you?
This is what my kids ask for dinner every single night. If you can get a kid to eat, that's American classic, my friend.
You are under 5 minutes, chefs.
One of the hallmarks of any great chili is a sense of spice. So I'm taking the tomatoes and tomatillos, I add that aji paste, mix those flavors together in a blender. I'm trying to layer this chili and put as much flavor in as little time as I can.
Chef, how are you feeling about that chili? Is it cooking down
You know,
enough?
it's coming good, but you know, I could use another 30 minutes.
There's not much time left on the clock, and I have this big pot of loose chili, and I know that I need more time. I need more reduction.
Smart move. His chili wasn't reducing enough, so he has a hot pan with more surface area to reduce that chili down faster.
Now that my chili's working, I'm kind of panicking about the cornbread coming out of the oven. And if this cornbread doesn't turn out, there's not a chance I win.
Let's go!
It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Look at that. Oh my God. Is that griddle cake or something? That looks so good.
Stop it! What is going on over there?
1 minute left, chefs.
You know, now that I got my rich, heavy chili, I need to give it a sense of class. And adding a little bit of creme fraiche to the dish is gonna make this really come together.
Wow, I've got the parsnip puree going down, one rectangle of perfectly cooked meat.
All right, we're at 30 seconds.
Running out of time, Brian.
Slowly start drizzling the Aji Amarillo hollandaise, and then on top of that, the corn relish.
10, 9, 8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There isn't a chance I lose. I'm not the underdog. I am in the trenches. I cook every single day and live and breathe and sweat food.
Oh! Right now, I'm feeling very, very confident. This will be a blow to my ego if Carlos wins. Oh.
All right. So, Carlos, you're the challenger. Tell us what you made.
When I think of comfort classic, I think of a warm bowl of chili and cornbread. At the base, you have peppers and onions, but you have that ají amarillo with tequila, so it really comes through. I finished it with just a real simple honey cornbread and just a touch of creme fraiche.
All right, Chef Shirley, what do you think?
This is such a comfort food when you present it. I really appreciate you only use ají amarillo in this because like the heat just continues to build up and build up. So it's like the warmness in my stomach and giving me a hug internally.
Especially with chili, because chili can be a mishmash. It can swallow every single flavor, and you can't taste each one individually. But because you only use one pepper, you actually get the spirit of ají amarillo. Nicely done.
Odell. I don't actually really taste the tequila.
There we go, there we go. It's right there, it's right there.
There it is.
Right? That floral note, that smoky note right down there.
Shut up.
Cornbread was a perfect choice. I mean, a really perfect choice. This is the only utensil you need for chili, right? You know, you take this, you sop up all that goodness that you worked on, and then you wipe your hands on your jeans. You know, that's it. Chili is really a classic. So you nailed the competition, the challenge itself. Nicely done.
All right, thank you, Chef. Next up, Chef Brian.
I simply just made steak and potatoes.
Doesn't look that simple.
We did a ribeye, parsnip puree, and we made the ají amarillo brown butter hollandaise. That's how I can control my heat with a lot of nice fat from the brown butter. And then, of course, we made this corn relish on top with charred corn, charred Fresno chilies, pink peppercorns, dill and chives, and the tequila, agave, whole grain mustard gastrique around the outside.
The presentation is very beautiful. It's very Malarkey-like. It looks like something explodes.
Using that tequila to make that gastrique, that was the perfect touch.
The ají amarillo's heat, I love that you balanced it with lots of fat. I'm still tasting it, but I'm not blowing off my palate with it.
I just don't know if this is comfort food. I mean, I feel discomfort in my wallet, you know? You're trying to spin it off as a classic is more, I mean, it's got a fully divested 401k. I mean, the idea itself is an American comfort classic. You just took it into a rarefied space.
Honestly, and I mean this, I could have told you exactly what he was gonna make. I tell you, hollandaise, peppercorn, corn relish, I wish we'd have written them down beforehand.
All right, chefs, great job. Now it's up to the judges. Off to your stations.
If I lose to Brian here today, I will never hear the end of this. About the moment, the opportunity that I had where the old man still put it to me.
You didn't get any tequila in Carlos's chili.
I just couldn't taste any.
If I win the $10,000, I would do something just to really rub Carlos's nose in it. I would probably send him to a cooking school someplace.
The challenge was comfort food. So for me, I think that Carlos's plate was plated better within the challenge.
All right, judges, let's go ahead and score it up.
I don't know. This is so hard.
All right, chefs, I have the results. Let's remind you both what's at stake. We have a little vindication, $10,000, and the winning chef gets to walk away with the losing chef's favorite knife. So the question is, who won? The protege or the mentor? The winner is... the protege, Chef Carlos!
Let's go!
Congratulations!
Let's go!
Chef Malarkey, it's about time for you to pass the knife. Oh, you've been knighted.
I'm extremely proud. The chili was fantastic, and I am glad to be passing my knife on to Carlos Anthony.
All right, let's give it up for Chef Brian Malarkey. Thank you, Chef Brian Malarkey.
I am here, huh?
Yes! Come on! Congratulations, Chef. Let's give it up for Chef Carlos Anthony! See you next time on SuperChef Grudge Match.